Okay, folks, we have returned. It's now time for case 51. Thanks to Frederick, Misak, and Nico. It's time for the next case. We're in Seattle now. Lifeless in Seattle. Matthew, ever since we talked to Sombra's founder, we suspected that they may have something to do with the current unrest in the U.S. Following the U.S.'s rash decision to build a wall on the Mexican border and the subsequent talk of sanctions against them by the unified nations, the country has been divided into two factions. The U.S. NATO camp is clamoring for the U.S. government to lead the unified nations, which could have grave consequences for international... Sorry, guys. The U.S. state camp is advocating the government to stay in the unified nations and avoid possible conflict. The government has so far refused to officially side with either camp. All this tension is no doubt playing right into the hands of Sombra, a suspicion only proven right by the discovery that Sombra is directly involved in the U.S. NATO movement. Not only are they funding the movement through the corrupt pharmaceutical company OM Medilab, which we had mistakenly hoped to have shut down, but they also directly set up the murder of the leader of the U.S. state movement, Sandy Turner, by paying a student to kill him. Matthew, we need to figure out the extent of Sombra's involvement in the U.S. NATO movement and what they're trying to achieve through it. Robert Hicks, the leader of the U.S. NATO movement, is in Seattle right now. Take Jack and head to the U.S. NATO bus to see what you can find. Sure thing. Matthew, let's go check out that bus.
Yosia put up 35 assists against UC Santa Barbara and a career high 58 against Cal Poly to lead Hawaii to a conference opening road sweep last week.
We didn't play our best this weekend and we still got the win. So I feel like practicing this week
let's try go for star number one.
Getting better and playing to our best.
That's right, despite the unblemished Big West start, freshman center from Torrance, California says it's just
oh no.
It's amazing some of the things she actually
I can see the stuff. Broken badge.
So she's a pretty heady kid.
Victim's body.
I realize like after timeouts, like if we're ahead, we get too comfortable and like they
bobblehead.
Like get on the bus and is like ready to go because we think we have it in the bag, but the game
there we are. Choose.
Keep the momentum on our side.
In action this Friday right here at home. First serve against Cal State Fullerton is set
and we got the first star.
Reporting from the Stan Sheriff Center, Brandy Higa, KITV Island Sports.
Rainbow Wahine are 9-4, 2-0 in the Big West. Fullerton is 6-9, 1-0 in conference. Riverside 5-8, 0-1 in the BWC. Both those teams, before coming to Hawaii, play tomorrow night. Some national recognition for the UH baseball program. Mike Trapasso and his 6.
Oh God, Matthew, this poor woman has been stabbed in the neck. Just look at all that blood. I guess Hicks and the U.S. NATO campaign will have to wait a while. We've got to figure out who murdered this woman. At least the murder weapon is obvious. You're right. The pocket knife is still in her throat. It would help if we had a name to put to that face, though. She does look familiar. Oh, I know. It's Kelly Purnell. I saw her on the news just yesterday. What do you mean you didn't have me pegged as the type to watch the news? I'll have you know that I'm passionate about current affairs. Kelly was a journalist for Wolf News, the most conservative network in the States. They're one of the most fervent U.S. NATO supporters. There's nothing like a difference in political opinion to get people riled up. Could an angry U.S. state supporter have killed Kelly? The clues you picked up should help answer that question. This bobblehead is obviously U.S. NATO merchandise. It's Hicks, the leader of the movement. Oh, you're right. There's a note attached to the bobblehead. If you think it's worth recovering the faded writing, then go ahead. You also found a broken badge, Matthew? Well, you know what to do with that. I'll grab the tape. Matthew is the second high-profile murder we've had to deal with since we got to the U.S. Whether Sombra is involved or not, we better solve this case and fast.
St. Louis is 1-1 a half back of the mat to me. And
Right.
welfare rates. Also, from
Let's go ahead and start the autopsy.
see this too
But I
often.
am going
Here's
to
my
get
first
some stars, so
baseman,
sit tight.
John Jasso with a
Okay, I got myself 9 stars. Let's examine the broken badge.
Corelli. Okay, patch her through. Yes, Miss Garman, what can I do for you?
There's a book I'm reading. The writer, I swear, he must have had something to do with my kidney.
8.
You say somebody wrote a book on your case?
It's a novel.
This press badge belongs to a Wolf News cameraman called Evan Clark. This Evan must have worked with our victim. We better inform him of Kelly's
I
death.
can't help you right now. You have to call me later. Find anything?
I don't think he's the killer.
Phone number on it. No name.
But I guess we will see what happened. What happens?
Check it out. There's 834 rooms, Lieutenant.
Rogers, when's the last time you heard me say
No, I think maybe this is 51.
This Aaron Garmin really gets to you, huh?
It's my son.
Yep, 51. Lucky thing I changed. About his working relationship with the victim. Mr. Clark, this is Marshal Matthew from the Bureau. Sorry, I really don't have time for this. I'm due to start shooting in just a few minutes. If only that darned woman would show up on time for once. You wouldn't happen to be referring to Kelly Purnell, would you? Another fan, are you? It's unbelievable how everyone fawns over her. All Kelly has to do is turn up and ask a few questions, and she's suddenly the darling of USA. People don't see that the real work goes on behind the camera. Well, you won't have to worry about her stealing the spotlight anymore. She's been murdered. Kelly's been murdered? I last saw her this morning. We were interviewing the locals at the marketplace. I can't believe she's dead. Thank you for the tip. Marshal Matthew, I guess we should go check out that market.
Time to get the ball rolling. Keep in mind, Medicare only covers about 80% of Part B medical costs.
Examine the bobblehead first.
That's where AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, come in.
Kelly, keep up the good work, Hicks.
They could help pay some of what Medicare doesn't.
The note on this bobblehead reads, Kelly, keep up the good work, and it was signed by Hicks himself. So our victim was on first-name terms with the leader of the USA movement. I guess that's not a huge surprise given her network was promoting his cause. I reckon it's time we talk to the top dog himself. Let's question Hicks.
Medicare supplement plans to choose from, based on your needs and budget. All plans like these let you choose any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients, and there are no network restrictions. United Healthcare Insurance Company has a
About his relationship with the victim.
and the commitment to roll along with you.
Sir, we're here to ask you about... Welcome! It warms my heart to meet USA supporters. What can I do for you? A signed mug, t-shirt, or how about a baseball cap, young man? Here, try this one on for size. Thanks, but we're actually here to inform you that Wolf News journalist Kelly Purnell has been murdered. We believe you knew her well? Kelly's been murdered? This is terrible. Kelly has been doing wonders for our numbers with her straight-talking, no-nonsense interviews. In fact, she practically become the face of the movement. Wolf News is the only network to give us fair coverage. All those other networks peddle lies and fear, trying to make Americans think this country can't be great without the unified nations. Well, I say differently. I say that America doesn't need the unified nations. I say that we don't need anyone. And do you know why? I'll tell you why. I think we got everything we need, don't you, Marshal Matthew? We might have some more questions for you later, Mr. Hicks.
Aaron's been citing dozens of details like that. Staff meeting 20 minutes. I missed this one. I'm dead. Just you go ahead. I'll call you when I'm through.
Let's go ahead.
One of the joys of working for the city.
Aaron, we have to go to the police with this new
Here we go.
I called this detective. He used to work on the case, Lieutenant Phil Corelli, but he said that he can't help me. Look, I know in the past I've been like the little girl who cried wolf.
Funeral flowers.
Jessica, this isn't fantasy.
No, I don't want to forward a sample to your assistant.
Locked suitcase.
His work is already hanging in the office.
Tie.
Person down at the NY.
Dollar sign. 8 seconds.
That's 4 o'clock this afternoon.
I've already got the first star.
Sorry about that. I'm trying to pick the right art school for my son, Bobby.
I thought he was only 5.
Matthew, these flowers look like something you'd see at a funeral. And that's our victim's name on them. What the heck, Matthew? Somebody already bought funeral flowers for our victim? Only our killer would have had the time to do this. But are they playing some sort of game with us? Or do they genuinely feel remorseful for what they've done? Guess I'll ask them once they're in cuffs. Let's collect a sample of that green substance on the flowers. You also found a locked suitcase? The tag reads Purnell. What was the victim's suitcase doing out here? Maybe unlocking it will give us some idea.
Only an insider would know.
That's right. Things that were never made public. For instance...
Well, like it or not, statute of limitations ran out on your kidnapping 4 years ago. So even if this Madison or anybody else walked in and confessed, I don't have to figure it.
Everyone understands that, Phil.
R3AD,
Perhaps with your help, it might be
7HI5, and I get the 9. Good.
Rogers? Who's standing around for?
Makes read this. You've unlocked the victim's suitcase, Matthew. Well, what are you waiting for? Dig in.
That's one of my kidnappers.
That's it. Look, Miss Diamond, I sympathize with what you went through.
Phil.
This is the police honor sketch we made 11 years ago.
My description.
Open the suitcase.
So I just wanted to try the other side.
Well, I don't know exactly what to say. Of course.
There we are.
Interested in pursuing a
8.
long-term relationship with you.
Virginia Purnell. I'm not sure this suitcase belonged to our victim after all, Matthew. The picture on this driving license looks nothing like her. The license belongs to a certain Virginia Purnell. She must be one of our victim's relatives. It's not my favorite part of the job, Matthew, but we better break the sad news to Virginia. Inform Virginia Purnell of the murder. Good evening, Mrs. Purnell. We found your suitcase. Oh, thank you so much, Marshal. I just put it down for a second while I took a look around, and then it was gone. Seattle is such a big city. It's nothing like our little town back home. I feel a bit lost, actually. Thank goodness my little Kelly is going to show me around. Oh no, you're Kelly Purnell's mother? Yes. Have you heard of her? Oh, I'm so pleased. She told me she was famous. I still don't quite understand what she does for a job, but I couldn't be more proud of her. Mrs. Purnell, I'm afraid we got some bad news. Your daughter, she's been murdered. Murdered? My baby girl is dead? First my husband and now my daughter. I think I need to sit down. Of course I'll let you take in the news. Please let us know if there's anything we can do for you. That was harsh. That was pretty bad, I should say.
You would think after all the years of therapy that this was behind us.
I'll be fine.
I have a job. I have responsibilities. I have to go.
8. Let's get that substance you collected from those funeral flowers to Lars, quick! Nine hours. Get the results a little later. But for now, this is Matthew. See y'all then. Okay, folks, we have returned. Let's get the results. Oh, let's go with the first one first. Hey guys, I got a joke for you. Knock knock. You know I can't resist a joke. Who's there? Snot. Snot who? Snot nice to keep me waiting. Get it? Snot. It's not. Bro, are you trying to tell me that substance we collected from the funeral flowers was snot? Thank God Matthew handled it and not me. Yes, the substance was nasal mucus. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough DNA present to establish a profile, nor were there any bacteria to indicate any kind of illness. That got me wondering what caused your killer to sneeze all over these flowers, and then I thought of April. The poor thing gets an itchy throat and watery eyes every time we go to the park. And that's because she's allergic to pollen. So our killer has a pollen allergy. Well, they won't be smelling any flowers where they're going, Matthew. That's an interesting clue. Autopsy now. Matthew, your victim's puncture wound seems to have been inflicted at a rather haphazard angle, suggesting your killer only struck her carotid artery by chance. It would have been a quick death. Since the murder weapon was still in her neck, I had a closer look at it. It seems the U.S. Navy movement is selling these knives as part of their merchandise collection. You can get U.S. Navy logo knives? Talk about an aggressive merchandising strategy. Unfortunately, the knife held no viable clues about your killer. However, the victim's face yielded a partial answer. There were faint burn marks on Kelly's face. Upon closer examination, I found traces of coffee, whole milk, and chocolate syrup, all the ingredients for a mocha. Considering the pattern and freshness of the burns, it's pretty obvious this mocha was thrown on your victim's face by the killer right before she was killed. So our killer drinks mocha. Well, their life won't taste so sweet once you've arrested them, Matthew. Matthew, I don't know what I was expecting when we came here to investigate USNA, but I hadn't counted on another murder. Our victim was the darling of USNA according to her cameraman, who seems to have resented her success. And the leader of USNA, Robert Hicks, went as far as to say that Kelly had practically become the face of the movement. Did someone kill Kelly for her political views, or did they just envy her place in the spotlight? And could her murder be linked to Somber's involvement in the USNA campaign somehow? After all, if they're using their bogus company, OM Medilab, to finance the movement, it means they must have a stake in it. Matthew, you won't believe this. OM Medilab is giving a press conference in support of USNA right this moment. We'll have to see what's going on in Chapter 2, so we'll see you all then. Alright folks, we have returned. Let's start Chapter 2 of Lifeless in Seattle. Matthew, I don't know what I was expecting when we came here to investigate USNA, but I hadn't counted on another murder. Our victim was the darling of the USNA movement, but that didn't stop someone from stabbing her in the neck. The question is, does Somber have anything to do with it? After all, if they're using their bogus company, OM Medilab, to finance the movement, it means they must have a stake in it. Matthew, you won't believe this. OM Medilab is giving a press conference right this moment in support of USNA. What? So they're not even bothering to stay in the shadows anymore. Where's this press conference? At the Great Coffee Seed Cafe. I've sent you the address, Matthew. Head over there now. And so, to conclude, at OM Medilab, we truly believe that America can be great again once it is free of all external influence. Thank you, and good night. Ma'am, we're from the Bureau, and we have a few questions for you. Would you mind stepping to one side? Alright, but make it quick. We'll talk to you for as long as it takes. And I agree, Marshal Matthew, we should also have a look around this cafe. OM Medilab's involvement. Erin Bryan is her name. You know, I'd be curious to know how OM Medilab came back from the blow Marshal Matthew dealt you in Tibet. We thought you were done for. I have no idea what you're talking about. OM Medilab is a highly respected pharmaceutical firm which strives to improve the lives of people worldwide. And what about OM's decision to fund the USNA movement? Is that supposed to improve people's lives too? It is OM Medilab's belief that our country doesn't need a crooked institution like the Unified Nations. That's rich, coming from a company this crooked. I'd be careful with those accusations. OM is completely above board, and we have a legal department to deal with anyone who claims otherwise. Now if you'll excuse me, my mocha is getting cold. Well, you better hope that legal department can help you if Marshall Matthews discovers you murdered Kelly. Don't go far, Miss Bryant. Put an hints finder on just in case. So I have a pretty good idea where everything is. Let's see. I finished all the stars beforehand. Tablet. Coffee cup. There we are. Got the first star already. Cool. Was refunded my 20 energy. What have you got, Matthew? A coffee cup? Well, we are in a cafe. Oh, got it. That's our victim's name on the cup. She must have come here not long before her murder. Let's check out that handwriting to figure out which barista served her. And this tablet looks like it belongs to Kelly's cameraman, Evan. I'll let you crack the password. Okay. There we are. And one more. Boom! 9. Ana Gutierrez. So the handwriting on the victim's coffee cup belonged to one Ana Gutierrez. She's a 24-year-old barista at the Great Coffee Seed Cafe. Matthew, there's every chance Miss Gutierrez might have been one of the last people to see our victim alive. Let's go talk to her. When she last saw the victim? What do you people want? I'm on my break. Can't I enjoy just one mocha without customers harassing me? We're not here for coffee, Miss Gutierrez. We're investigating the murder of this woman. We believe you served her shortly before her death. Oh, I remember her. She ordered a sugar-free, non-fat, no whipped cream, extra hot vanilla soy hot chocolate with peppermint syrup, drizzle, sprinkles, and a dusting of cinnamon. You lost me. You've lost me. Anyway, the woman drank her hot chocolate and left in the direction of the market. I can't tell you any more than that. Sorry. We'll let you get back to your break, Miss Gutierrez. Marshal Matthew may want to speak to you again later. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Matthew? Anna mentioned that the victim headed towards the market after she left the cafe. We better take another look around there. So it looks like we're going to have another crime scene to investigate. That's cool. Okay, I think I see the 2 clues. Broken pieces. seafood crate. Oh! Son of a gun, I thought I could handle it. Look, Matthew, I know we're short on leads, but you want to look through that seafood crate? Really? But at least I can get behind fixing up those wooden pieces. Let's glue them back together and see what they tell us. I'm just going to do the tablet right now, first of all. (9Y4) XO. B7Z. I ended up with 8. You managed to unlock Evan's tablet, but look at all these video files. There's no way we've got time to check them all. Let's send it to Elliot. $12. I'll look at the results tomorrow. And the broken pieces. There we are. This is some kind of award. The plaque reads, Best Political Journalist of the Year, and it was awarded by Wolf News. Matthew, this award must have belonged to our victim. But look at that shoe print. Someone clearly broke the award by stamping on it. What the? You're right. The shoe print says Hicks. Matthew, how egocentric does a guy have to be to wear shoes with his last name, with his name on the sole? I think we need to ask Hicks why he broke Kelly's award, don't you, Matthew? I sure do, Archer. Why he broke the victim's award? Mr. Hicks, can you explain how Kelly Purnell's award ended up broken with your shoe print on it? Sorry, say that again, Marshal Matthew? My pollen allergy is giving me hell. Kelly Purnell's award. Why did you break it? Oh, you found that. Well, we had an argument. That woman was getting above herself. All the attention had gone to her head. She started acting like she was the star of the movement. But this is my movement. I'm the real star here, and I told her so. She needed to be put back in her place. And so you killed her? Kill her and ruin my career? Preposterous! Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a speech to prepare and a mocha to drink. Well, you better have your speech prepared for the judge if Marshal Matthew discovers you murdered Kelly. He's in the running now. Seafood crate now. Just like that. Matthew, what the heck was that piece of paper doing in that seafood crate? It's covered in blood. Let's unfold it. It's the American National Anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Hopefully Lars can shed some light on just how this ended up here, Matthew. Let's send the paper to him. How long? 12 hours also. See you guys then. Alright folks, we have returned. I'm under unlimited energy happy hour, so let's make some purchases. This tablet you sent me gave me the creeps, Matthew. I checked out the video files and they all feature one person, your victim. Well, the tablet does belong to Kelly's cameraman. I guess that's no surprise. You don't understand, Archer. These weren't work videos. Evan had cameras hidden all over her hotel room. She had no idea she was being filmed. So Evan was spying on our victim? Gross. Yes, it's like my worst nightmare. Somebody secretly watching me, judging me when I listen to Van... Kid, we don't have time for your paranoia. If Evan was willing to violate our victim's privacy like that, who knows what else he might have done. Let's bring him in for questioning, Matthew. About spying on the victim. Evan, the game's up. Marshal Matthew cracked your tablet. We know you were violating Kelly's privacy. I don't know what you're on about. Don't try to fool us. We know all about the cameras you hid in Kelly's hotel room. Did she find one of them and confront you? The conversation got out of hand and you killed her. Is that it? Of course not. Kelly asked me to put the cameras there. She said it was for her protection, that it made her feel safe to know someone was keeping an eye on her. Try getting a jury to buy that story, Evan. And because Marshal Matthew's arresting you for invasion of privacy, and you'd better hope we don't also find proof that you murdered Kelly. And the anthem partition. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Dude, I know you're Australian and all, but I've never heard the Star-Spangled Banner sung with quite so much aggression. I thought it could do with a revamp, you know, give it a metal twist. Well, it's good that you're keeping yourself busy, but did you actually learn anything from that sheet music Matthew sent you? Sure did. I can confirm that the blood on it was your victim's, which means that the sheet music must have belonged to your killer. The paper itself is rather worn. My guess is that the killer kept it as some sort of sentimental keepsake, which means that they know the Star-Spangled Banner like the back of their hand. So our killer knows the American national anthem. They'll be singing like a canary once you arrest them, Matthew.
So you see that as real
I don't know. Guys, you really can't make...
Matthew, this investigation is full of liars and creeps. I can't believe the nerve of OM Medilab's PR officer pretending the company's above board when we know it's a front for Sombra. And don't even get me started on Evan. He was watching Kelly's every move with his creepy hidden cameras. Did he kill her because she found out? Matthew, we've got a situation. Hicks has completely lost the plot. He's at the Great Coffee Seed Cafe, telling anyone who will listen that U.S. Stay is responsible for Kelly's murder. And he claims he's their next target. Uh-oh. We're going to have to find out what's going on here in Chapter 3. See y'all then. Hello, folks. Let's start Chapter 3 of Lifeless in Seattle. Matthew, this investigation is full of liars and creeps. I can't believe the nerve of OM Medilab's PR officer pretending the company's above board. And don't even get me started on Evan. He was watching Kelly's every move with his creepy hidden cameras. Did he kill her because she found out? Matthew, we've got a situation. Hicks has completely lost the plot. He's at the Great Coffee Seed Cafe, telling anyone who will listen that the U.S. Stay is responsible for Kelly's murder, and he claims he's their next target. What the? The press are going to have a field day with this. Exactly, which is why you need to go there and stop him before any journalists get wind of it. U.S. Stay have blood on their hands. They killed Kelly Purnell and I'm their next target. But if they think they can scare me into giving up, they're wrong. I'm a patriot. I'll never give up on America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Sir, you're causing a disturbance. You can't silence me. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Will you just stop singing? We're taking you into custody. Perhaps sometime a cell will calm you down. Sometime in a cell will calm you down. What the heck was all that about, Matthew? It's lucky we got here before any journalists showed up. But we still need to find Kelly's killer, and maybe having another look around this place will help us do just that. I agree. Let's get to work. I'm going with Ace right here.
To an Excel to inspire even more creativity. The 3-in-1 Activity Desk Deluxe. Everything.
When it's time to move to underwear, toddlers see things a bit differently. Thanks to Campers Easy Ups, while they see their first underwear, you see the best way to potty train. Introducing new Campers Easy Ups.
Apple pie.
Stretchy waistband and Pampers 12-hour protection, so you'll see brighter nights and they'll see their first underwear. New Pampers Easy Ups, the easiest way to underwear. Pampers.
Open pill box.
There goes my sensitive laugh. So familiar, but
and an envelope.
Incredible protection in a pad. It's thin, but it does. It's called Always Discreet. Watch this. The super absorbent core turns liquid to gel for incredible protection that's surprisingly thin. So I know one wear it, but no one else will. Always Discreet for bladder leaks. They're companions. That's why what we feed them matters.
What's this little box you picked up with our victim's name on it, Matthew? It's filled with pills. Whoa, you're right. The pills have all been issued by OM Medilab. We better scoop up a sample. Good call on that torn card. Let's piece it back together. But do you really think we've got time for apple pie? Oh, there's a faded message inside the box? Well, why didn't you say so? Let's dust it. The tension between U.S. Stay and U.S. Nay is going to reach breaking point once word gets out that Hicks is accusing U.S. Stay of murder. We need to solve this case before that happens.
GC's online class size averages fewer than 17 students with full-time faculty. Find more courses online at Grand Canyon University. Call us today.
I'm taking care of everything right now. Hopefully that means I'll unlock the last crime scene. There is more where these came from. There was a note under those pills you vacuumed up, Matthew. It reads, "There is more where these came from." I don't know about you, but it seems to me like somebody was trying to get on Kelly's good side by giving her these pills. Good idea. We better put the pills under the microscope to figure out what our victim was taking. Examine the pill.
Everybody has something about themselves they like to change. The trick is getting beyond. And don't get me wrong.
There we are.
Feels like the center of lost themselves. But all in all, I'm happy.
Oh God, it gives me goosebumps when he talks like that. They just awesome comedy. I'm glad you did it. I'll help you.
There we are. Anti-anxiety pills. So our victim's pills are a cocktail of extremely strong anti-anxiety meds. Considering where these pills came from and the note that was in that box, we need to have a little chat with Aaron. I agree.
22 years old, and all he did the whole time I was there was drink beer and shoot cans with a baby.
About supplying the victim with pills. Miss Bryant, you better get talking. Marshall Matthew found the anti-anxiety pills OM Medilab gave Kelly. Were you trying to keep her sweet? More baseless accusations, Marshall Matthew? Kelly came to us for help because her job was taking its toll on her. It's not a crime to take anti-anxiety medication. In fact, it's not that different to the treatment I take for my pollen allergy. It's funny how hell-bent you seem to be on proving OM Medilab is shady, Marshall Matthew. We start every day by singing the national anthem. You can't get more patriotic than that. Now, if you have any more questions, please direct them to OM Medilab's legal department rather than wasting my time. We might not be able to make you talk, Miss Bryant, but if you had something to do with Kelly's death, be sure Marshall Matthew will discover it. You can put her in the possible category. Kelly, it doesn't get more American than this. The writing on the apple pie box reads, Kelly, it doesn't get more American than this. So somebody gave this pie to our victim. I agree. Something seems off. We better get this pie to Lars. I hope nothing bad happens. But I'm not going to speed this up. I'm just going to get this thing ready. Oh. This is an invitation for the funeral of one Hector Purnell. You're right, Matthew. When we spoke to the victim's mother, she mentioned losing her husband recently. It must have been him. And the invitation was addressed to Kelly, our victim. She wasn't attending the funeral, though. She ticked the regretfully declines box. That's weird. Why would Kelly miss her own father's funeral? Perhaps her mother can tell us. Mrs. Purnell, are you feeling well enough to talk to us again? Yes, thank you. I didn't know where else to go, so I came here and had a mocha. Between the news of Kelly's death and my pollen allergy, I must have got through 100 tissues. Marshall Matthew found this invitation for your husband's funeral. We were wondering if you could tell us why Kelly didn't attend. She was too busy with work. I had to sing the Star-Spangled Banner all alone at the service. These modern-day women just don't have their priorities straight. In my day, family came first. Now all women care about is their career. We're sorry for your loss, Mrs. Purnell. Rest assured that Marshall Matthew will catch Kelly's killer soon. Now she's in the running. I just hope it's not the mother, but if it is, I'm not going to be surprised. I'll let the apple pie run its course, and I'll get the remaining stars. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Okay, folks, we have returned. Let's get the results of the apple pie. Matthew, Uncle Jack, we're back. Did you miss us? You're just in time for pie. Oh, don't mind if I do. I love pie. No, bro, put that pie down. It's full of laxatives. Laxatives? Matthew, I think I'm going to be sick. Sorry, Matthew, we didn't know the pie wasn't good. Dude, I'm seriously going to have to think about getting a nanny now that the girls are back. Do you think Carmen will let Sanjay babysit? You'll have to ask her, but it's wonderful to see your family get together again. Uncle Jack missed you, little rascals. Now, what's all this talk about laxative-laced apple pie? The apple pie you sent me was contaminated with an extremely large dose of laxatives. Somebody clearly didn't like your victim. And luckily, that person left a stray hair in the pie. It belonged to one of your suspects, Ana Gutierrez. Ana gave our victim a poison pie? She claimed that the only contact she'd had with Kelly was to serve her hot chocolate. Let's ask her why she lied, Matthew. About the laxative-laced apple pie? Marshall Matthew, I'm too busy for this. I got drinks to make, pies to bake. You mean pies like the one you gave to Kelly Purnell? Do you add laxatives to all your baked goods? How do you know about that, Marshal Matthew? Well, I don't care. I don't regret it for a moment. I only wish she'd eaten the whole thing. Kelly Purnell was a bigot. She came in here, ordered her drink, and then told me that she preferred to be made by a real American. My family has been here for 3 generations. I couldn't be more American. I can even recite the Star-Spangled Banner backwards. We don't condone racism, Anna, but we don't condone murder either. And Marshal Matthew will find out if you were involved in Kelly Purnell's death. Oh, she's not in the running. Matthew, I have no idea what to make of this case. We failed to pin anything on OM Medilab and we still haven't caught our killer. We suspect that OM Medilab's PR officer was keeping Kelly sweet by supplying her with anti-anxiety pills. Did their deal go sour? We're just lucky nobody heard about Hicks's wild accusations concerning U.S. stay, but could his paranoia have driven him to murder? And what about Kelly's mother? She doesn't look like she'd hurt a fly, but it's hard to forgive someone for missing their own father's funeral. We need more leads, and quick. You're right. There's only one thing to do if we want to solve this murder. We've got to go back to the scene of the crime. Well, let's try. Let's see. Hamburger. Coat hook. Oh, that's a clue. Cool.
That's like my grandma cooked. Make a little banana bread because the baby likes bananas.
Nasal spray and casino chips. Cool. Not my best score, but hey, still learning the ropes.
Critics are calling Sundance TV's original series action-packed and strikingly realistic. Your next TV obsession.
Mountie, that nasal spray you picked up is for pollen allergies. This must be the killer's. It's disgusting, but it seems as if they left some nose hairs on the tip. We better get a sample. But, what did you pick up this coat hook for? Wait, why is there a control panel at the back? Is that thing on the front a camera lens? Is this coat hook a hidden camera? I bet you this is another one of Evan's cameras, so he could spy on our victim while she was in the bus. Which means this camera could have filmed the murder. You're right. We need to crack that password, Matthew. We're closer than ever to our killer. Excuse me. Okay. Nice. 8. Let's get those hairs you collected from the killer's nasal spray to Lars. Stat. Okay. Let's see. D3C, F17, and 6UA. Got it. Mountie, you managed to unlock the camera hidden in that coat hook. Let's get Elliot to see if it filmed the murder. Quick! It's going to do. And I'll see you guys when I get all the stars. Okay folks, we're back. Let's get the results of both things and put a killer behind bars. Dude, we're on the home stretch. Tell us you got something from that hair Matthew collected from the killer's nasal spray. Of course I did, with a little help from my girls. Which one of you wants to present our findings to Matthew? Me. Matthew, we took some DNA from the hair you collected and found out that the killer has blue eyes. Nice one, April. Our blue-eyed killer will definitely have the blues once you've locked them up, Matthew. And the camera? Matthew, you were right in thinking that this hidden camera belonged to Evan. It's exactly the same model as the ones hidden in Kelly's hotel room. Matthew, what if Evan is our killer? Maybe he wanted to film himself killing Kelly. Whoever killed her, the camera did a poor job of recording it. Even though it does show the victim alive shortly before her murder, the view is then obstructed until whatever's covering the lens is taken away to reveal Kelly's dead body. Which means the person who covered the camera is the person who killed Kelly. Right. I spent ages trying to figure out what the six-pronged shape placed over the camera was. And then I got it. That shape matched the inside of a baseball cap. So our killer was a baseball cap. Well, arresting them will be another feather in your cap, Matthew. This is it, Matthew. You've collected all the evidence you need to arrest Kelly Purnell's killer. Grab your cuffs and let's go.
He was waiting in the garage for Kevin, and I felt a sharp pain in my back. My legs.
Let's see.
Did you see anybody? By the time I looked up, he was gone.
Okay, we've posted the uniformed officer outside, so no one's coming in.
It's certainly not Evan Clark.
Detectives.
It is not Robert Hicks.
All of these are for her. The card says.
Unfortunately, it's Virginia Purnell. Mrs. Purnell, I can't believe it. How could you kill your own daughter? Me? Murder my own daughter? How could you think such a thing, Marshal Matthew? Well, there's the burn marks your mocha left on her skin when you threw it in her face. Why would I throw my coffee in her face? She was my daughter. We loved each other. Then how do you explain the fact you found your copy of the Star-Spangled Banner covered in your daughter's blood? I seem to have misplaced my anthem. It's true, but surely. Just admit it, Mrs. Purnell. Marshal Matthew found your DNA on the allergy treatment you left at the crime scene. You killed your daughter. No! I remember hurting someone, but she had nothing in common with my sweet little girl. That woman in the bus wouldn't even look up from her phone to greet me. It was like I was nothing to her. It wasn't enough that she broke her father's heart when she left for the big city, never bothering to call or come back to visit. It wasn't enough that she didn't bother to come home when Hector got sick, despite my pleas. But she didn't even come to her own father's funeral. She left me to mourn him all alone. That woman I hurt, she wasn't my daughter. She'd become a monster. And monsters have to be slain, is that it? Yes, I threw my coffee in her face first, and then I saw the knife. I was so angry. I just wanted my sweet little girl back. So I walked over to the couch and struck her. I didn't think I'd have the strength, but the knife went in easily, and then it was over. Mrs. Purnell, you do realize you killed your daughter, don't you? She might have changed, but she was still your child. My baby girl, my sweet little girl. Oh, Marshal Matthew, what kind of a mother am I? I kill my own child. I don't have an answer to that. I'm sorry, Mrs. Purnell, but you're under arrest. Mrs. Purnell, it's always sad to see a mother accused of murdering her own daughter. I know. I will accept whatever sentence you see fit to give me, Your Honor. I see your arrest report mentions a possible case of dementia, and considering your age, I believe a high-security medical institution would be more appropriate a place for you to spend your remaining years and expiate your crime. I guess it's the only place where someone will take care of me. Thank you, Your Honor. Well done on bringing Kelly Purnell's killer to justice, Matthew. Murder is always difficult to comprehend, especially when it involves a parent killing a child. But now we need to turn our focus to OM Medilab. We know that Sombra is funding USNA via them, but we have no idea why. It's imperative that we find out just what Sombra is up to before USNA can gain any more ground. It's going to be difficult to uncover OM Medilab's secrets, Matthew, but if anyone can do it, it's you. That's the unfortunate part. Take a look at the other ones. Aaron Bryant, no cap. Ana Gutierrez, cleared early, no pollen allergy. Coming. Robert Hicks, no blue eyes. It was Virginia Purnell. See you guys for the AI. Alright folks, it's Matthew. We're back. Let's go to Edge of Darkness 3-8. Matthew, you might have put Kelly Purnell's killer behind bars, but our investigation into OM Medilab is only just beginning. Despite Elliot cutting their funds back in Tibet, the Sombra-owned company has clearly recovered and is now funding the USNA movement. Which means Sombra has something to gain from the US leaving the Unified Nations. But what? Even though we don't yet know Sombra's ultimate goal, there is still something we can do. Shut down OM Medilab once and for all. I suggest you head to the USNA bus. If there's anything we can use to bust OM Medilab, you'll find it there. Before you go, there's a special envoy from the Unified Nations here to talk to you, Matthew. He claims you met him in Mexico. Nilo Vertanen? I wonder what he's doing here. We better talk to him, unless you'd rather start with the bus, Matthew. Oh, let's investigate the bus first.
Plenty of porn. Are we sensing a theme?
It's a teenage boy.
Boys probably like spending time here because it's a lot more fun at their own house. But everywhere you turn,
okay, let's see. Oh, I think I see. Dictaphone.
19 gigabytes of porn. Yeah, it's kids. You want to see the Britney Spears collection?
maybe they don't pass it.
Usually the internet files are gold. Not with this guy.
No control chessboard.
Hey, service provider.
How the hell do you have to get rid of all that?
There we go. That ought to do. You think this dictaphone could be useful, Matthew? Oh, good thinking. If OM Medilab is funding USNA, then they must have met with Hicks. And he might have recorded the meetings. You better crack the dictaphone's password, quick.
Pulled Barnett's file after I got off the phone with you. Poor old boy thought he was the poster boy for the therapy program. I can't believe that. Not for a second. Barnett was one of the most gifted liars I've met, but he was still a liar. So is every criminal for that matter when they Instinct.
W1N. U5 and NAY. Oh, son of a gun. Didn't get the 9. Good job. Now let's see what Elliot can find on this dictaphone.
At one point, he admitted to molesting over 100 boys.
Did he happen to mention names, dates, or places?
And let's ask Nilo Vertanen what he wants.
He's far more
Thank you for agreeing to see me, Marshal Matthew. I didn't know who else to turn to. What can we do for you, Mr. Vertanen? Well, this might sound a little strange, but I think I'm being followed. I've had the feeling that someone was tailing me for the past few days, but I never managed to get a glimpse of them until today. I was at the market just now, and there was definitely somebody there. I'm sure of it. I know the Bureau must be horribly busy with the current political unrest, but would you mind taking a look around the market, Marshal Matthew? I'd be happy to cover the cost. If you believe you're in danger, we'll be sure to investigate, Mr. Vertanen. Matthew, it kills me to say it, but Jonah sounds like a better partner for this investigation. If someone really was following Mr. Vertanen, you might need some muscle to back you up. I couldn't agree more. Matthew, let's head to the market.
I can't force him to testify.
You can. Barnett is let loose again. Looks bad for everybody, and the prosecutors get the brunt of it. I remember that my time in special victims as well. Don't tell me that's changed.
Lemon. Ham. Play basketball. There we are. Trash can.
The only person whose fault this is Roy Barnett's.
Well, I can't see any shady-looking individuals around here, Matthew. In fact, the only person who looks shady is you, holding that trash can. Are you really going to rummage through it? Well, you're the brains of the operation. Let's see what that trash can is hiding. Again, a torn paper. I can't make head nor tail of that torn paper you found in the trash can, but I guess you'll make short work of it, Matthew.
This is my fault. Never forgive myself for letting that man come near you.
That's proof. Terminate on sight. Matthew Vertanen was right. This is clearly a surveillance photo of him. Somebody really is following the Unified Nations envoy. And look at this message. It says, terminate on sight. So not only is somebody following Nilo, they also want him dead. We better inform him immediately. Warn him about the threat to his life? Mr. Vertanen, we took a look at the market, and I'm afraid your fears were justified. It appears that not only is somebody following you, they also want you dead. What? Somebody wants to kill me? Can you think of any enemies you might have, Mr. Vertanen? In my line of work, there's always going to be somebody who disagrees with me. I just don't know who'd go as far as trying to kill me. Well, you'll need to lay low until we can identify the threat. Impossible. Unified Nations business can't be put on hold. I'm due to head to Alaska to inspect one of the U.S.'s biggest weapons factories. You must be crazy. There's someone out there trying to kill you. The Unified Nations will not be intimidated into inaction, Marshal Matthew. Well, if we really can't convince you, we'll have a word with our chief to see what the Bureau can do for you. Thank you so much for your help, Marshal Matthew. Please take this as a sign of my appreciation.
You may know it only covers about 80% of your Part B medical
Matthew, things definitely aren't good if someone's going around trying to shoot down people working for the Unified Nations. Could Sombra be involved? Either way, it's only going to escalate tensions further. We'll have to talk to the chief as soon as possible to see what she thinks is best. I'll let the dictaphone run its course. See you when that's done. Okay, folks, we're back. Let's get the results of the dictaphone. Matthew, you were right in thinking that this dictaphone belongs to Hicks. He sure does love the sound of his own voice. He recorded every single one of his meetings, including the ones he had with OM Medilab's Aaron Bryant. Judging by the recordings, Hicks is completely clueless that OM Medilab is run by Sombra. He thinks they're completely legit. That could work to our advantage, Matthew. If Hicks doesn't know about Sombra, then maybe we can talk him into telling us a bit more about OM Medilab. That is, if he's not still furious with us for keeping him in custody. Let's talk to Hicks, Matthew. For information on OM Medilab. What do you people want? Come to impede my freedom of speech further? We were actually wondering if you could help us. We believe you're in regular contact with a certain Aaron Bryant from OM Medilab. Naturally, OM Medilab is a major sponsor of USNA. Do you recall anything suspicious about your conversations with Aaron? Anything suspicious? Wait a minute, is this some new tactic of yours to undermine USNA by trying to discredit our biggest sponsor? There was absolutely nothing untoward about my meetings with Miss Bryant. What was said between us at the Great Coffee Seed Cafe will stay between us. I won't tell you a thing. Well, we can't force you to talk, Mr. Hicks. You're free to leave our custody. You know, you guys have really done me a favor. When the public hears about how the establishment tried to silence me, my popularity will skyrocket. Take this pick-me-up as a thank you. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Matthew? If Hicks held his meetings with Aaron at the Great Coffee Seed Cafe, then there's every chance she might have left something behind. We need to head there and check it out. Okay. Let's see if we can find something. Will this be another wait? Or will this be an instant? There we go. Faded folder. Alright. You think this folder might be the lead we're after, Matthew? Then I'll grab your dusting kit. There's no time to waste. Officer OM Medilab. It's Aaron's folder. Bingo, Matthew. This folder belongs to Aaron. She must have forgotten it here after one of her meetings with Hicks. With any luck, whatever this folder contains will tell us exactly what OM Medilab is up to. Let's get it to Elliot, quick. So, looks like I'll have to wait again. 12 hours, okay. I'll get the results tomorrow. So for now, this is Matthew. See you then. Okay, folks, we have returned. Let's get the results of Aaron's folder. Matthew, you've hit the jackpot with Aaron's folder. Are you telling us you found solid proof of OM Medilab's shady dealings? No, but I've got even better. Proof that OM Medilab has never paid any corporate tax in any of the countries in which it operates. You've lost me. How is that good for us? OM Medilab is guilty of tax evasion, which I guess makes sense, considering who they work for. And there's enough proof in this folder to close them down altogether. I've already forwarded everything to the tax authorities. They'll be on them like a pack of wild wolves. Wait, you're saying we're finally going to shut OM Medilab down because of tax evasion? Not to brag, but that's how they finally brought down Al Capone, you know. There's no chance they'll bounce back this time, Matthew. They're finished. That'll be another blow for Sombra. There's only one thing that remains for us to do now, Matthew. Let's arrest Aaron Bryant. Let's put her under arrest. You again, Marshal Matthew. I thought I told you to address all questions directly to OM Medilab's legal department. I think your legal department might be rather busy soon, Miss Bryant. You see, Marshal Matthew found the folder you left here at the cafe. I left my folder here? Yes, and the documents inside conveniently detail just how OM's been committing tax evasion, and they've already been transferred to the authorities. And as the folder had your name on it, you're under arrest for complicity in tax evasion. Please, we must be able to come to some kind of agreement, Marshal Matthew. You don't have to do this. Considering the crimes your company has aided, you should consider yourself lucky that tax evasion is our only charge, Miss Bryant. You wanted to unleash a deadly epidemic in India, and it was probably your drugs which were used in Sombra's human experimentation program. It doesn't matter how we shut down OM Medilab as long as it is shut down once and for all. You're under arrest. Matthew, I hear you finally managed to close down OM Medilab once and for all. It'll be a huge setback for Sombra, to be sure. But it doesn't mean that we should let our guard down. I wouldn't be surprised if Sombra is behind the threat against Nilo Virtanen's life, after all. With unrest mounting, we simply cannot risk a unified nation's special envoy being murdered. Which is why I decided that the Bureau will accompany Nilo Virtanen to Alaska to protect him during his inspection of a weapons factory. Furthermore, Mr. Virtanen has agreed to the use of a decoy in order to ensure his safety. Jack will disguise himself and take Nilo's place. Great! It's been a while since I had the chance to put my disguises to the test. Pack your bags, Matthew. We're going to Alaska. When will this case be released? October 5th. Okay, I'll see you guys when that is done, but first, I got some sticker packs to open. And as I said, my next Elite Mode case will be in the World Edition yet again, and I will try and do at least one case in Elite Mode in every district. Four new stickers. Oh, there's Angela. That rare photo, that is. Five new ones. getting close to completing the page of the victim, case 25. Still kind of bummed that Angela's the killer in that one, though. I thought she and Lars were a cute couple. And I think myself, along with other people, are really hoping that Angela will be released from jail and she and Lars can be back together. Okay, that will do. Alright, and I'll see you guys for when the next case is open, but I will say this though, before we go, I will say though that my next case in Elite Mode will probably be in this district. I'll see you guys